Welcome to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at paranormalcentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. Are you ready to witness something that you cannot explain?
I'm looking for you. You're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe the unexplained? Look into the sky.
Hello everyone, welcome back. We are here, we're barely here, tired as heck, and I think all you guys know why. Hello, my name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host for Paranormal Central. To the right of me, co-host, barely walking, barely standing, is Mr. Alan Thomas.
How y'all doing?
And running the board in front of us is Emerald. Alright, well, we got a lot of things that we are going to talk about tonight. And as you know, we have a very famous guest on the phone at about 5:45. Ron Morehead of the Sierra Sounds. Boy, I tell you, if we haven't freaked you out yet, we're going to freak you out even more. For those who like to go camping, we're really going to freak you out. So, kick back, relax. If you have people who go camping, then you might want to tell them to tune in, because I don't think they're going to want to go camping after this. So, again, if you are watching us on paranormalcentral.net, I appreciate it. We have often technical difficulties on live streams, so what we are asking you to do is, the heck with live stream, mute it, and go to artbell.com on the Dark Matter Network and tune in there. Go to their app. You can just, go to artbell.com, scroll all the way down to Dark Matter, and click on that, and you have different ways of actually listening to us. And they have an app, so if you are on their cell phone, you can actually listen to us there and forget about watching us. And because their audio is way better than live stream. But if you want to see us, then go ahead and tune in. We're going to be showing pictures tonight. They are on the artbell.com website right now, so you can go ahead and follow us, so you don't have to go to live stream. But if you're on live stream, then we'll be showing them on the screen as we are talking to our reporters who are on the East Coast and on the West Coast. First, what we're going to do is we are going to talk to our MUFON representative on the East Coast. His name is Ken, and I think he's on the phone. Ken, are you there?
Yeah, hey, Jeff, how you doing, pal?
Good, man, good. Okay, we got Ken Pfeiffer on the East Coast, and he is a MUFON investigator, actually. You're state section director, or what are you now?
Yeah, well, I'm a STAR team member, of course, but okay. I am the chief investigator for MUFON, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Vermont.
Good. And you said STAR investigator. I know what that means. Why don't you tell everybody what that is?
Well, basically what that means is we would be deployed to high-profile cases within the United States and possibly the world, depending on the case. But, if it's an important case and if it does need some investigators, boots on the ground, then, I would probably be one of them.
So we're talking UFO crash.
Of course, yes.
Yep. So if there's a UFO down, then you guys get called. I mean, right away, too. You guys get dispatched, and depending on where it's at, there's a little money involved. You guys either hit it by vehicle or by helicopter or whatever it takes to get you there before the government does, huh?
Yes. Now you find that they were paying for it back a few years ago when Bigelow was involved with the Bigelow Aerospace. As a matter of fact, I was dispatched out to London, Connecticut. I was out there 3 days investigating a very large black triangle But I guess when Bigelow left, we're basically on our own right now, and we have to pay for our own flights and meals and everything else if we are dispatched out to a sighting.
Okay, right on.
And I had no idea that Bigelow left. I thought he still was like running the show.
That's what I thought though too. So I guess not. Okay, Mr. Ken, I got your pictures here, and like I said, everybody, if you're not watching us on live stream, you can go to the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. Yeah, you heard me right, artbell.com. Is that awesome? When I get goosebumps every time I say that. artbell.com. You can actually watch our stuff and listen to us right now on that network. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and hit for UFO number 1. And I am putting that on the screen right now. And go ahead, Ken, talk about this. What are we looking at?
Yes, this was a great photo. A lot of substance to us. This was February 24th, 2014 in Fresno, California.
Oh, wait. Fresno, California. Okay, that's...
And my birthday.
Yeah. Okay, now, how come nobody called me on this one? See, nobody knows who we are.
What are you? One of you guys from Fresno?
We are broadcasting from Fresno.
Oh, okay. As a matter of fact, we've had a couple. We have another sighting that I'll present to you again next week. We had another sighting in the Fresno area, but no, this was February 24th, right there in Fresno.
Wow.
My birthday.
Yeah.
Somebody got a
I have a brief statement. It says here that I was shopping at the drugstore at the corner of First Street and Knee Street in North Fresno, California. I happened to look up and saw a stationary object in the northwest corner of Fresno.
Oh, River Park.
The skies were clear and there were no other craft in the area. I observed the object for about 10 to 15 minutes. I took several pictures, which I attached. The object made no noise and was stationary. I'm guessing that it was at least 1,000 feet or more. It is difficult to estimate size and height without having something to compare it to. I looked at it with some small binoculars. There seemed to be larger than just a lighted area. The pictures do a good job of what I saw. By chance, I sent the pictures to my daughter, and she called me immediately and said she said that my oldest grandson, 11-year-old, he saw the same thing. So that's what they had in Fresno there on the 24th of February.
Well, guess what? That's if we are talking about that particular sighting, that is, those kids who took that video, and we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact, where they were being followed, and they got a picture of that guy parked on the side of the street with the Google glasses on. I think this is the same object because he said there should have been a lot of people who actually saw this thing, and it looks like that is the truth to it because MUFON got a call on it. So yes, I got a call on that, and you guys got a call on that. So that verifies confirmation right there. Awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, what's happening these days is people just don't call one UFO organization. They may call 3 or 4 different ones, and sometimes we get more of the stories from another UFO organization than the information we have.
Right. Sweet. Well, I'm glad that MUFON was called on this one. That's awesome. So, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to number 2. Okay, what are we looking at here?
Okay, yeah, this is that's an object on the moon.
What?
As a matter of fact, this is just another example of some of the amateur photographers and astrophotographers, the amateurs that we have out there. They're setting up their cameras with the telescopes, and they're finding things, and it's pretty incredible. This one here was February 12, 2012, Green Acres, Florida. Brief statement: there are a few photos I took with my Nikon D5000. And with my Nikon D5000 hooked to my Nextar 8 telescope in February 2012, I have no clue what they are, but the one is a solid object sitting on a moon surface. I took another photo later, and it was gone. Now, I've seen this object before, and quite frankly, a lot of people are describing this object as a possible rod.
A rod? It doesn't look like a rod to me. It's more square.
Yeah. I do have some rod photos, and This seems to be one style of a rod that is flying around right now. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Okay. Wow, very cool. From the moon even. All right, right on. Okay. Let's go to number 3. And again, you can, if you are not watching us on paranormalcentral.net, you can go to artbell.com and you can see all these pictures right on his website right now. So, okay, we're UFO picture number 3. What do we got?
Okay, this one's in Kent, Rhode Island. Dates January 31st, 2014 in Kent, Rhode Island. Brief statement. Me and my boyfriend were driving down the highway when I saw 2 hovering black discs out of the passenger window. I told my boyfriend to look over, and he grabbed a series of pictures showing the object standing still in the sky, hovering. They were circular and had no lights. We took the next exit and headed towards where we saw them. We had lost them in the trees after taking the exit, and by the time we reached the area they were previously above, they were gone. We also saw a helicopter heading in the same direction as we drove closer. That occurred at roughly 5:30 p.m. in Rhode Island. Now, as you can see, there's 2 photos, and that one photo is apparently that's a photo they took. They didn't see them lights, them beams coming down, but that's what the camera captured, and that's some pretty amazing shots there of what these guys got. Very cool.
And that white thing in the middle, I guess that's like a reflection from inside the vehicle?
I'm not really sure what that is. They didn't describe seeing that, but I saw that in the photo, and that to me that looks more like a UFO than anything. So I decided to circle that one.
Cool deal. All right, let's go to number 4. All right, go to number 4. There you go.
Okay, that would be number 5, April 1st, 2013.
No, January the 31st. We're number 4 now.
Okay, yeah, that's Kent, Rhode Island. That's the
Yes.
two photos I was talking about. The one photo should have the strange streaks of light coming from top to bottom with the 2 circled orange UFOs, and then the next photo that was attached was the photo of.
I see what you're saying. It's just a zoom-in version. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I got you. Well, see, now I'm looking at number 4, and you zoomed-in version. Matter of fact, I'm going to zoom in for it for the everybody out there right now. And the disc one that I'm seeing in that circle that you circled in the top right, to me it looks like a disc with a little dome on top. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm looking at, is freaking UFO flying saucer. That's what I'm looking at right there. So that's cool. All right, let's go to number 5.
Okay, now this was Providence, Rhode Island. This was a great shot here. As a matter of fact, this was April 1st, 2013 in Providence, Rhode Island. Statement is, I walked out into the night on my porch and noticed something glowing in the trees in the back of the property. There were no street lights, and it was very dark. The night was overcast, and the object was hovering around 20 to 25 feet above the ground in a very treed area. There is nothing in the back of the property that is very rural with a lot of trees. It was glowing red and seemed to have some spots between the glowing lights, meaning it was not dense. I decided to take some pictures and went outside the house to upload them. The pictures reflected white glowing objects in different shapes. Note, I was seeing red glowing objects. Not while it seemed it was performing tricks for me. I went back outside and took more pics, and then it suddenly broke up into 3 smaller white objects and disappeared. So this was the best. They sent a few photos, and this one here seemed to be one of the better photos with a little bit of structure in it that shows something pretty strange.
And this was in the trees, you said?
Yeah, it was. I said it was 25 feet above the trees and above the ground in a very treed rural area. So it's it wasn't far off the ground. Probably about tree height, I guess.
Wow, that was weird. So cool. All right.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Ken. Appreciate that. For all those who want more information on Ken, and he has thousands and thousands of photographs, and you can go to our website at paranormalcentral.net. Go to our reporters, and there's link links for Ken's website. And for those who don't want to go right now, Ken, go ahead and give them your website on right now as we speak, so that way they can go if they want to go. So.
Yeah, my one website is the world's largest private website for UFO photos. I got over 6,000 photos. That one is worldufophotos.org, and my news website is worldufophotosannews.org. So check them out. I think you'll see a lot of neat things on there.
Very cool. All right, Ken, appreciate it, and I guess we'll see you next week. And in case anything happens this week and you want to tell me about it, feel free to call me, okay, and let me know what's going on.
Sounds good, Jeff. Hey, Alan and Jeff, thank you guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Okay, no
We'll
problem.
see you later,
and if you dispatch on a UFO crash someplace, you better call me.
I'll be on the phone to you.
All right,
sure.
man. All right, thanks, Ken. See you next week.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
I'll see you.
See, I didn't know he was part of the STAR team.
That's cool, huh?
Yeah, STAR teams are they get notified first and dispatch, and if there's a down UFO someplace, they try to get out there ASAP before, the MIBs or the GOVs or the DOD or the CIA or the NSA or the FBI all get there first.
Well, it's interesting that he also said no Bigelow.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. I thought she...
I mean, I thought for sure that guy was still all over that.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. So
That's interesting.
all right, now we're going to go for the Squatch Report, and for all those who don't know what that is, this is our Bigfoot report, and our buddy Danny Valderrama should be on the air. If not, he's camping with Bigfoot right now. Danny, where are you?
Dancing right now.
You're dancing or camping?
Dancing.
Dancing? What the heck? Dancing?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm here.
All right, let me get to our screen here, and Danny's going to be giving us the Squatch Report. And why, Danny? Because he is the biggest Bigfoot geek I've ever known in my life. So, okay. All right, we are zooming in, and we got actually photo number 1. And again, you guys, if you guys are on the artbell.com, these same photographs that we're showing on live stream can be seen right now at artbell.com Dark Matter Network website. All right, what do we see here? I see a possible arm.
Yep, these are both trail cam pictures taken about 1 second apart, and they were taken in the Cascade Mountains in Washington State by Eric Douglas on March 10th. That's all the information there is on these that he released. On the second picture, though, you can see kind of fingers there. The arm, if it's an arm, it's pretty skinny to be a bear arm.
Right.
Not quite sure what it is.
Okay.
The only one thing I know out there has fingers.
Did this have fingers?
It looks like it has. I can see about 3 fingers, and then what looks like a thumb on the bottom on the second picture.
Oh, on the second picture. Okay, let's see the second picture. Hold on, let me go to the second picture now. That would be Bigfoot number 2. Ooh,
wow! Look at that.
All together,
and like the elbow and wrist. Looks like he's.
Yeah, the wrist kind of looks weird. Like it's maybe turned a different way.
Looks like he's gonna grab the.
On my screen, you can kind of see fingernails at the top.
Wow.
Black fingernails.
That's pretty cool, man.
That is cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty
Looks
cool
like
and
he's
scary.
grabbing the branch or something.
He's not standing in front of the camera, so we don't know exactly what it is.
Right. Wow.
Well, I never seen a bear make his paw do that.
No. And yes,
Like he's flashing a gang sign.
Really, yeah. Orale. All right, Bigfoot number. Wait a minute, where'd it go? There it is, number 3. I see a picture.
Ooh,
what do we have here?
There he is.
This is from Jim Greenolds. He's the Cherokee Indians, and he and his father and his son were out digging for ramps, and those are a type of onion. And when they walked down the stream, they saw a Bigfoot creature eating a deer next to the stream. And then when it saw them, it stood up, and it was about 9 feet tall. It had red hair. It was about 6 to 8 inches long. And his father put his hand up, and he said to the creature, he said, "Osego," which means hello in Cherokee.
Yeah. That's what it
So
means.
the creature said it back to him.
Whoa.
And left the area.
Yeah.
And they said that he was looking through the internet trying to find something that closely resembled what they saw, and he saw this picture here by this person, Alexander fed me off. And he said, this is a picture that looks almost exactly like what they saw, standing there crossing on the river eating a deer.
And what state was this in?
What's that?
What state was this in?
This was in West Virginia.
West Virginia. West Virginia, they have a lot of sightings over there, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, we sure do.
Wow.
You know, that almost, the face and nose, it almost looks like what Rick Dyer has that he's dragging around in the trailer.
You know, and I heard about that, too, that somebody finally came out and said it's all a fake.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we all knew that to begin with, though. All right. Okay, so this is number 3. Now we're going to go number 4.
Yep.
And we have, what is this? A movie coming out?
Some Bigfoot movies coming out this year. So keep us entertained while we're not in the woods. This first movie is called Exist, and it's a Blair Witch type of found footage movie, and it's also from the director of the Blair Witch movie, Edward Sanchez. And it's about 5 friends that go camping in the Texas woods, and they fight off the fabled predator. And it just had a screening last week, and it was sold out, and the reviews were good.
Wow.
So, are they saying then it's a Bigfoot that is doing this?
Yes, that's what it is. It's
okay.
a Bigfoot.
The Bigfoot, huh?
So the release date was supposed to be about a week ago, and it's been pushed back because another company came in and bought the movie. Probably wants a bigger release for it.
Oh, well, with all the
pushed back the release date.
With all the Bigfoot in the media right now, that's the reason why they want that sucker. So that makes sense.
Yep.
Bigfoot's where the money's at. All right, got number 5 up, and this looks cool. What's this?
The next one is Bigfoot Wars. This one has some known names in it. It's based on the book from the same series, and this one's going to be released in summer, starring C. Thomas Howell, Judd Nelson. On March 21st, they're going to start releasing the trailers, and then after that, they'll be like every other week or something that the new trailer will be released.
Now, is this going to be released in the theaters or on TV?
It's going to be released in the theaters, and then after that, it's going to go to DVD.
DVD, okay.
Yeah, so it's sometime in the summer.
Another interesting Bigfoot. That's interesting. All kinds of Bigfoot stuff coming out.
Yeah.
They got the teeth wrong on that one.
You got the teeth wrong?
Yep. He's got fangs, and Bigfoot has human teeth.
That one looks hungry.
All right, now we have a mansion. What's this?
Yeah, this isn't Bigfoot related, but it's breaking news. My sister contacted me. She lives in San Jose, and she saw on the news there that the Winchester Mystery House has just received a special use permit that would allow people to stay overnight.
Woo.
They won't be allowed in any of the 160 rooms in the mansion, but they can stay in the buildings that surround the mansion, including the pump house and the caretaker's residence. So they still have to find out what exactly they want to do now that they have the permit. They finally got approved. But all the details are going to be worked out, and pretty soon people will be able to spend the night.
Is that supposed to be haunted, that place, or is it?
It's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, but
I thought it was just like weird, not haunted, but it's haunted? Wow.
That's cool. And then,
I can't hear his question.
So it's supposed to be haunted, and that means there's going to be a lot of investigation groups going up there. Tell you that right now.
Yeah, we actually toured that one, and there's one of the rooms we were in. This kind of has a spring on the door, where if you open it inwards, it'll close automatically because it has a giant spring on it. And while we were in the room, and the tour guide was with us, the door opened, and the only way you can open that door with a big spring is if you have pressure on it. But the door opened, and the tour guide had his back to the door, and he looked around at the see if somebody. He said, "Hello, can I help you?" And because he thought somebody was coming in, and there was nobody there. And then the door closed by itself again.
Wow, that's weird.
Okay, so moving on.
That's weird. So okay,
All right. Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. All right, Danny, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right.
And I guess we are. You're not going any place because I know you're going to want to stick around for the next guest because Danny actually was the one who got us this guest, Mr. Ron Morehead. So all right, appreciate that, Danny, for all the work you do.
All right.
Hey, Danny.
And keep it up and keep sending those pictures. And for those who don't know we're going to talk about that right now. So all right, thanks, Danny.
All right.
Later,
Okay,
Dan.
see ya. So,
Cool.
all right, that was Danny.
Yeah, he takes great pictures. You can go on our Facebook, and you can check that out. I'll have some loaded up. later on paranormalcentral.net.
Okay. All right, we got 20 minutes until Mr. Ron Morehead is going to come on. So let's talk about a little bit about what happened this past Sunday for all those who don't know and who are in the dark. And I don't know how you can be, but for those who showed up, I think you were blown away, I'm hoping. For those who don't know, who are tuning in for the first time, this past Sunday, we actually shot 3 episodes of our talk show in a larger environment. It was held at the Crest Theater in downtown Fresno. We shot 3 episodes in front of a live studio audience, and right now we are extremely tired still. I know it's been a week, but there's a lot that goes into what we did this past Sunday, and a lot of people said, "Nah, suck it up, come on," but you don't understand. There are a lot. I mean, I'm not going to go into. For those who saw the set, as a matter of fact, right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the set so you guys understand what we did and what we had in front of us. Okay, I'm just going to do this.
Well, I know I put my heart and soul into it. I was pretty tired during the shooting, but only excited at the same time.
Right.
And I think it went rather well.
It did good. It went better than I expected. I felt really comfortable doing this, and it's only because we've been doing what we're doing here at Paranormal Central going on 3-4 years now. So I was a little bit comfortable. The lights prevented me from seeing the audience, which helped a little bit. But I don't know what much more to say. I want to thank our guests that were interviewed. First of all, for those who don't know, we had James Fox in the couch, and we interviewed him a full episode. He's actually filming right now a motion picture called 701 that's going to be coming out in the theaters. And 701 is the reason why they chose that is 701 is the number of cases that were not solved by Project Blue Book back in the days, 701 cases. And that's what they're calling this movie. And he brought a clip of his movie which showed there was a case in Zimbabwe, Africa, I believe, and where in, I want to say 1994, an actual UFO flying saucer landed on a school, elementary school property, and there's kids playing out in the playground. And the door opened up on this UFO, and aliens actually came out, and all these little kids saw this happen. And it was on the BBC. A lot of hoopla was made out of this situation. What's awesome is that these are little kids. They're not going to make up a story like this. Well, James and his crew found several of the kids. Actually, found a lot of the kids, and they actually flew them down to the United States, and they interviewed them now in their 30s, and they actually are now talking to them and getting them on film, describing what they witnessed when they were, in elementary school. We actually played a clip of his movie in the filming of our, Paranormal Central episode number 1. So if you weren't there, you didn't see it. It was awesome. I mean, it makes you gives you goosebumps thinking that, what was it, in '94, and then all of a sudden now you have these older adults out of nowhere talking about their experience, and it was something to see. So yes, James Fox was in the house. People did not know he was going to be in the house. Matter of fact, when I announced him and he walked out, people were blown away. They had no clue. Our second guest is going to be our next guest here on Paranormal Central tonight, Mr. Ron Morehead. That was our Bigfoot episode, and we had him on the couch, and we talked Bigfoot. Mr. Ron Morehead is well known in the Bigfoot community. He has been around now since the 70s investigating Bigfoot. And not only Bigfoot, but also he's been to Peru and Mexico. He's very interested in ancient ruins, and we're going to talk about that also tonight. But Ron Morehead is better known for the Sierra Sounds, and those are the Bigfoot screams that you guys probably all have heard if you're into Bigfoot. And we're going to be playing some of them tonight, and we're going to let him talk about it too. So that's going to be awesome. And again, if you're a Bigfoot fan, I suggest you tune in, because that's going to be awesome. Excuse me. All right, episode number 3. We had Manuel Amparano on, and Manuel is the police officer in Kerman, California in the late 70s that was burned by a UFO. And you're going, what? A police officer burned by a UFO? Yes, this was well documented back in the 70s and made the media all over the world, actually. But to this day, a lot of people still don't know about this case. Well, we had him on, and we had some other witnesses, or a witness on as well. And to make a long story short, he has so much evidence and so much facts that can back up his story. Not only did he get burned by a UFO, which he has proof in doctors' forums and the whole 9 yards, that I was able to make this happen. I found a publishing company that's going to offer him a book deal, and we gave him a book deal live on the air as we were filming. So he is going to be in contact with Oasis Publishing, and they're going to be writing a book. So I can't wait for that to happen and that to come out, because I think that's going to be a pretty darn good bestseller with everything that he has documented, pictures, witnesses, everything. I can't wait for that. So I like to think
he was really excited.
Yeah, he was.
He'd been wanting to do that for like forever.
Right.
And you caught him, like, he's older, and they were talking about how a lot of people are gone.
Yeah, all the witnesses and stuff. So we need to really get that book out so people can read what actually happened to him. A lot of people don't understand that, this is coming from a law enforcement officer, and, he got burned by an unidentified flying object. Something hit him through the windshield while he was sitting in his patrol car. So that's when that happens. Yeah, it happened because he was burned. He was actually burned. So there you go. All right. There was a lot of people was involved in making this happen, to make this production happen. I like that. I just want to throw some names out there really quick. Okay. Obviously, I named off the interviewers first. I like to thank Lisa Smith Putnam, our executive producer. Our director was Eddie Chavez, and our good buddy Robert T. Scott, who basically busted his behind, and he actually helped the most because he was there when he helped load up the truck, including with Nathan, and but Robert helped me build a set with Steve Molia. So what you see right now on the screen was not there. It was just a theater. We actually physically brought everything from my house on a U-Haul truck and built everything in the theater. And Robert Scott was the man, and he helped build and break it down. And he was all over the place, and during the filming. And I, thank you very much, Robert. I owe you big time for that day. So, also I'd like to our news reporter Nicole. Desert Sky Media. I should put Desert Sky Media at first because they're the production company who provided the equipment to film this. They're out of Arizona. His name is Mitch, and he owns Desert Sky Media. We had a freaking production truck parked out in the street, guys, with a satellite dish on top, and this was totally professional. It
was the real deal.
It was the real deal. A lot of people again. We gave out close to 250, 300 tickets. And at first, I only wanted 150 people to show up because that's what you see on talk shows nowadays is about 125 to 150. You really don't go overboard. But I counted the tickets, and we had 150 people show up. Awesome. That's a perfect crowd. But 300 people had tickets. And now a lot of those 300 people are kicking themselves in the butt because they didn't show up, because they didn't have any idea that this is the way it was going to turn out. Well, you know what? Maybe next time you'll show up because because when we do something here at Paranormal Central, we do it right. So
always.
So okay. Last but not least, the two people in the house with us right now, Emerald and my wife Cheryl, for kicking butt that weekend too as well. They were running around like their tails cut off, doing stuff for us, and we want to appreciate them as well, because,
Emerald, she actually, it probably wouldn't even happen because she's here every week.
Yeah,
doing
she runs our
this with us. Otherwise, we wouldn't even have that.
She runs our Skype, who's getting the feed to Art Bell, actually.
That's right.
And she runs that for us, so I appreciate that. And again, to my wife for, putting up with all the crap. We're doing this, and, we're not getting anything in return. And what I mean by that, everybody thinks, oh, my God, these guys are making millions of dollars. Well, no, that ain't the case. I started this as a hobby. Excuse me, the hobby a long time ago. But it's turning into a lot more than just a hobby. A lot of people seem to think that we have something special going on here. And that's why we're going and doing what we're doing. And we're taking it to another step. And this weekend, it blew us away. We did not expect it. I mean, it turned out really well. I mean, I don't recall any oops or anything major happening that, crap. Granted, we were going to do 4 or 5 episodes. We were going to do a ghost episode, but that one fell through at the last minute. We had a prop. We were going to get a prop from someplace, and that didn't happen. So we ended up just doing 3 episodes. And in ways, I'm glad that we only did 3 episodes.
Yeah, like at first we started off, we were going to do a solid 5.
Right.
And then one dropped off. And, we started thinking maybe we can't do 5. And then another one dropped off. And I'm glad, too. We had this really awesome person that was helped us out with the executive producer.
Yes.
And she warned us, we did a pre-production meeting, and she said, we're tired, which we were, because we've been running for days just getting it set up. And then we're going to sit up there in front of the camera, and she said, you're going to start fading, right? Yeah. And I'm like, I won't fade. I'm Superman, right? Bigfoot guy. I don't fade. But you know what? On the 3rd one, I was starting to fade. The couch was actually feeling pretty good. I wanted a pillow. I was going to kick my feet up on Manny Amperano, and
right.
I was going to take a nap in front of 1 million people. But I didn't.
No.
I made it.
Yeah. But Lisa kicked butt for us. Lisa was the executive producer. She pretty much took a lot of things away from me because, I'm the one who had the idea of what was going to happen, what goes where, what interviewee comes up. She took all that burden off of me, and all I had to worry about was sit behind that desk and to interview and to do my job as a host. And it went really smooth, and I think I owe her all of that, basically, because I didn't have to worry about anything. The pilot episode that we shot, I had to worry about everything. So I was not myself, and the pilot episode, it showed, it showed that.
But this time you could tell, he was actually able to concentrate on, you're concentrating on the show, what we were doing.
Right.
And you didn't have your mind out, the cameraman, is he getting the shot? Because before you had this little world going on that people can't see that you're running.
Right.
And this time, and your wife, I got to tell you, man, she kicks butt. Mm-hmm. She's lining up the food, and she did it on the first one too, you know what I mean? In the background, but you guys make a really good team because...
Nah, I don't think so.
I think she works really hard.
Just kidding.
She might get after you a little bit, but only
all the time.
She gets the food all ready, so some things she carries the load on. But only there's still a lot of... I don't think people realize how many things go into these
have no
production.
Clue.
And then when you're reading the credits on a show and you're like, all those people? That's what I think. It can't take all those people. Ha! Yeah, it can.
Yeah, it can.
There's really?
You have to understand cameramen, directors, executive producers, the switchers back at the production truck. There's a lot that goes into something like this. This was a big production, and a lot of people who didn't go are letting us know that, man, I didn't know it was going to be like that, or else I would have went. Really?
Well, I want to thank those guys too. I didn't really get a chance. I wanted to go out and afterwards, and talk to all the people. We had so much going on. I didn't get to really go and thank the audience or talk to them. But only I hope all the ones that won the prizes, they were really good prizes. I hope they're enjoying that. And that's just to show that a little appreciation for you guys showing up. And thank you guys for showing up.
Yes, for those who showed up, we got messages on email and texting and Facebook that, whoa, they were blown away. They had no clue.
Is that mine?
Yeah, I think so. Right.
Yeah, it is.
There you go. Okay.
Wow.
So there you go. Now, a lot of people are going, I want to see it. I want to see it. Who didn't show up? I want to see it. I want to see it. Well, you know what? The reason why we shot these, we have people in Hollywood who are waiting for these episodes. So right now, as we speak, they are in production mode, being edited as we speak. As soon as they get done, we are taking a little trip to Hollywood, and our executive producer is going to walk in and involve in some meetings, and going to sit down and try to get us a deal. She thinks it looks really good because of what we did this past weekend.
I think we should take Emerald with us. That way she could beat him up. If we don't like what they say, she could whap, pop him one. Emerald is really going to be a badass cop. Oh, excuse my French. But she is going to be.
So yeah. So a lot of people are wondering when are this going to be put on TV. Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. So again, for those people who showed up, you pretty much got to see it actually happen and see all the great stuff that occurred. For those who didn't, I'm sorry. But I don't know when we're going to get this on TV.
It might surprise us, and it might be 2 months. And then it might be next year.
You never know. A deal could fall into place where, the deal is, sufficient for everybody, and somebody takes it and goes with it. But at this point in time, I cannot give you a set time and day. I can't. So, all right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch over, and we're going to bring on Ron Morehead. Again, Google Ron Morehead, and you will understand. When it comes to Bigfoot, this guy is all over Sasquatch since the 70s. He showed up this past weekend, and we talked on the couch with Ron about Bigfoot and the Bigfoot screams, and let's do it some more, because we did not have a full hour to talk to him. We need more time. Yeah, so, Ron, are you there?
I am.
Right on, Ron. How's it going?
Good.
Hi,
Sweet.
Ron.
So, are you back home in Reno, or are you still down here?
I'm in Mariposa right now.
Right, in Mariposa. Sweet. Okay. Well, hey, I want to thank you for showing up this past Sunday and chatting with us on the couch. A lot of people freaked out because you showed up, and that's the whole idea. Because everybody who's into Bigfoot knows who you are.
Well, it's my honor to be with you. Thank you.
Sweet. Okay. There's a lot of things I wanted to talk about, or we wanted to talk about, but obviously when you're shooting a production like this, they're only giving you 44 minutes, and then you got closing and opening credits and all that. So basically, we only talked for maybe 25 minutes or 30 minutes at the most, and that was nothing. So I want to start from the very beginning, and there's a lot of people out there who's listening on Art Bell and who is watching us, who has never heard of us or you, and we want to fill them in. So, Ron, you are well known for the Sierra Sounds, and a lot of people are going, what the heck is that? Well, explain to everybody how you got involved and talk about the Sierra Sounds.
It started in 1971. A group of us hunters were in camp. Actually, the Johnson brothers, two of them. Our camp, by the way, is in the Sierras, obviously, and it's about 8 mile trek in there on foot after you drive as far as you can drive. Pretty imposing area, but makes a great hunting area. And the Johnson brothers had left some food out, and they heard this big rustling going on after they went inside a shelter, which we had up there. And first, Warren thought it was a bear, and then he realized the sounds were not that of a bear, kind of aggressive sounding, which I think you've heard some of them. They didn't have a recorder or anything like that, so they left out the next, I think it was the next day, and told us about it, and some of the other guys went up right then. I didn't. I waited a little bit longer, and we took recorders with us, though, And they started coming around and taking our food that we left out, and we seen their huge tracks, and started recording their vocalizations, which we kind of didn't realize just how significant they were. I didn't anyway. I had no idea it would bring us to something like this today. But they're quite unique. I guess no one else has ever recorded them, but I've heard a lot of people tell me they've heard these sounds exactly like this from other areas. And that's how it began in 1971. And Al Berry was a reporter that we took in 1972, investigative reporter. And he was actually looking for a hoax, trying to uncover a hoax, which we didn't know at the time. But Warren Johnson, one of the senior members of the group, had written a letter to Ivan Sanderson, who was in charge of the investigation of the unexplained at the time. He's passed away now, but he didn't believe the letter. He didn't believe the report. He sent it to Peter Byrne, thinking Peter might have some interest in interviewing us, and Peter thought it was a hoax too. And Peter got a hold of Al Berry and said, "You might just want to go check these guys out." So anyway, Al Berry came down, interviewed us all separately, and decided he wanted to try to uncover the hoax. So we invited him in 1972, and he took his recorder in and recorded some very good, clear sounds. He had his little microphone remoted about 40 feet up from the shelter that we have. And anyway, he took them as a professional and had them analyzed by the University of Wyoming. Professor Curlin up there did a year-long study on them to prove that they hadn't been manipulated, that they weren't speeded up, slowed down, that they were actual recordings made live at the time. And Dr. Curlin's an electrical engineer and determined all that, gave his report in a book and also live at the University of British Columbia in 1978. And it's called Anthropology of the Unknown was a symposium. And it's just kind of gone on from there. We had interactions with these things several times over the years, and that's kind of how it began. Alan Berry passed away last year, and Warren Johnson's passed away. The rest of us are still kicking, and still get up there once in a while.
Right on. Now, you have a couple of DVDs actually out and a book, right?
I do.
Okay. Where can people see this?
Well, they can see it on my website, BigfootSounds.com, BigfootRecordings.com. Either one of those will get there. They can Google Ron Morehead. They can Google Sierra Sounds and come up with my website. And on there, they can order anything they want as far as the CDs or the book. The CD, the first CD I produced in the late 1990s, it's Al Berry's story and what he went through to try to solicit help. Because as you know, most professionals take this as a hoax. They take it as a Loch Ness Monster type thing, and they don't really believe in Bigfoot. Professionals won't stick their neck out, as a rule. And we went through a lot trying to get professional attention on these. But the CDs are both available on my website as a combination, because I produced another one in the early 2000s of my story and sounds I recorded in the same camp a couple of years later when they were actually interacting with us. And they're kind of unique, very unique, in that they were trying to ask me something. It's kind of a question. We don't know what it was, but I was mimicking them back. And this was the first time they really had interacted with us while we were outside the shelter, like they did. And that's the night I got to see one, get a glimpse of one. And also my friend Bill McDowell, he and I were in camp, and we both got to see glimpses of them that night, the ones that were making the noise.
Wow.
Very fast, very smooth, very agile. The kind of terrain they were going through. You see movement through these trees, and it was a quite exciting evening. But I got it all recorded, and I wrote my story. My chronicle is in my book, 40 years of doing this, and still have things going on. We don't have the close-up stuff like we used to have, but things have changed. I think the family members of the Bigfoot group who he was involved in may have changed. Anyway, that's what's available on my website. My book, it has a CD inside of it, which as I get to the context of the sound that I'm playing, you can play that sound on a CD.
Wow,
and,
cool.
About it. All this stuff is also downloadable. If you just want to download it on your PC.
Sweet.
That's kind of convenient, a lot less expensive, too. Not that my book is expensive, it's not, but it's downloadable.
Well, what's cool about tonight is Danny is going to, actually he's donating, he did this on his own, which is very cool. We've been really busy with the show and everything, and it was, at the last moment that I wanted you on here. Because we never finished the story. So Danny is going to ordered probably a couple of books from you, and you're going to autograph them for us, and we're going to give them away on the air tonight. So for all those who are listening and getting ready, I will let you know when to call in. Emerald will answer, and we will give you an autographed book with the CD inside. So that's going to be awesome. So, all right. Ron, now you're saying most of the stuff is on audio. Have you ever gotten anything on video?
No. As much as we tried, we never could get a picture of these things. I think we grossly underestimated what we were dealing with. And we tried camera traps. We tried all kinds of devices trying to trick them, and it seemed like they were always one step ahead of us.
Right.
And that was where we underestimated. We didn't realize that they were cognizant like I realize they are now. And in 2008, a cryptolinguist retired from Navy as a cryptolinguist with 30 years experience in transcriptions, got a hold of the sounds and came out and interviewed myself and Al Berry both to the context of the sounds and did a study on them and came out they have a complex language. And that took me to a whole other level. I kind of knew they had language, but to have a professional come out with that is another story.
Wow.
Someone that would really tackle these things and put their credibility on the line and say these things have language. So that takes you to another level.
Yeah.
Human beings are the only ones that are supposed to have cognizant language, who can figure things out like we do. And I get into a little philosophical thinking here, but I think, and I'm not a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person. I believe that something happens, and we're not just here by accident, but
right.
We were made in the image of God, and that's what gave us our cognizance, our speech, and our language. And these things have language, but they're not humans like we are. So where does that put them, and what does that make them? And I spent the last several years of my life looking into that. And been into Russia, been into Siberia, been into Nepal, been in lately just another trip into Peru.
Yeah.
Trying to put all the pieces together.
Well, I heard
all
there's
the interviews I've taken from people, professional people.
I heard there's some results.
Wildlife biologists, PG&E workers that have been out in the line. They don't like to get public with it, but they'll contact me, and I listen to them. And there's just some enigmas associated with these creatures that we don't understand. They seem to be able to do things that we don't know how to do.
And
I got some experiences of my own up there that I talk about a little bit in my book, but I've heard some people say they've seen them disappear.
Yeah.
And that puts it in the paranormal and into a whole other quantum physics is where I go with it.
Right. And that's something we didn't get to talk about that on the filming this past Sunday. So all right, now before we get into the paranormal part, do you want to talk? You want our fans to hear the sounds first, and then we'll move on to the paranormal?
Sure, I'm sure that's what most people want to hear the sounds.
Yeah.
Why don't you play the aggressive one first, if you would, please?
Absolutely. Okay.
I can explain that and what was going on then.
Okay, I'm going to crank it a little bit. This is called the aggressive. Here he goes.
That would make me run.
When was this caught on audio?
1972. That was Al Berry's recording. That was the one that I thought I gave you a different one than that. But that just sounds like a big gorilla beating on his chest. They're really kind of frightening when you first hear them, but those are kind of sounds we heard, and a lot of chatter back and forth between the creatures. And I think they were probably more or less being aggressive over the food we was leaving out, and I don't feel like they were really pointing it at us, because it was pretty hairy at that time.
I wonder,
I guess that's the right word to use.
I wonder maybe they were like fighting over what they wanted to do with you.
Well, they were around us, right outside the shelter, and one thing I can't explain or can't really say the right way is just how loud these sounds were. That's what the tape recorder doesn't tell you, but they were huge. They must have a huge lung capacity. And we took a wildlife biologist up there in the early 2000s to do a flora-fauna study just to see if, at the recommendations of a scientist, just to see if there had been any indication of speakers or anything like that could have went on. And he did a thorough investigation of the site. Couldn't find any evidence of anything like that. Of course, we knew that anyway, but still, it seems like if you don't have a professional behind it with a PhD or some kind of a title, no one's going to pay attention to it.
That's for sure.
That's why Al Berry and myself have gone through so much trying to get professional attention, and we're getting it now, and these sounds aren't going away. They can't be disproved, and a lot of people have tried to say, "Oh, does this sound like some gorilla or some kind of something speeded up?" And it's not what it is, and it's been established that professionally now. So anyway, if I'm rambling too much.
No, you're doing fine. Did Danny mention to you, and I'm pretty sure he did, that we actually got one yelling at us about 6 months ago? Did he mention that to you?
I don't think so.
No.
It was almost a year now.
A year now?
Yeah, it was
wow,
May
that long.
14th.
Yeah, we go up to the spot where we go all the time. That was David Ragosa brought us into his area, and we go there as many times as we can. And we walked in, the gates are closed because of winter, and we walked in, and we had one screaming on us. And I have my iPhone, and I have an app. It's called iRig. And you can buy an external microphone that you can plug into your iPhone. A microphone that plugs into your iPhone, and it's a digital recorder. Well, I had this thing going, and we had one screaming at us like King Kong. And I got it on audio, and it's wild, man. It freaked us all out, and I got it, and it's recorded, and it's bitching. I mean, it's like, wow. So
I think Alan did mention that to me.
It's the same what you said, like we were feeling it in our body, but only the microphone doesn't pick that up, you know what I mean? Because it's barely audible. I mean, it's audible, but it isn't like you're standing there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, these things, I mean, when it was yelling at us, you can feel the bass in our stomachs. And it was incredible. I mean, it was scary and incredible. So I understand where you're coming from. Excuse me.
Well,
all right.
What did you do after that?
We walked away. No.
Well, we were leaving.
I got it. We got about a couple of minutes worth of screams, but it started coming in louder, and it actually, what we haven't done yet is really input it into the computer and cleaned it up like it should be. But it's you can hear it. It's really loud. A buddy of ours, Robert, who went with us for the first time, doesn't believe in Bigfoot, and this thing started screaming at us, and he actually started cussing right there and then, only because he was freaking out because there's no effing way, But yeah, I got it on audio. I'm gonna have to send you some clips so that way, I'll have Alan do that tonight or tomorrow. Send you some clips of the audio. Matter of fact, Danny has that on SoundCloud, I believe. So I know Danny's listening right now.
He actually has it marked where you could go right to the roar.
So as of right now, Danny, go ahead and email Ron the clips of the yells, and that way you can check it out tonight after the interview. So
let me mention something that I learned from the cryptolinguist Scott Nelson. What he found in our sounds was what they call a morpheme stream, and that's a group of words that make a sentence, and that's what creates language by the human definition of language. Screams and yells, which we've all had, doesn't tell us a whole lot.
Right.
But if you can relax, which is really easy thing to say, but a hard thing to do when this is going on.
Right.
But I encourage people to just try to get through the fear, and you can probably get something going on like an interaction thing with the language issue, and that's what's important. Because the more we can get cooperation from that, and the more sounds the cryptolinguist can get, he may be able to determine what these things are saying someday.
That makes sense.
He says what we really need is have one come in and point at a tree and say ooga ooga, and then we know that's a tree in their language. But he does know a few things about, they do have a certain sound they make at the end of their sentence, and it's a complex language, though,
right,
in his words.
What was it?
The yells and the screams, I'm not a professional, and I can't tell you if it was a Bigfoot or not. The best thing is if you can get some cooperation from a track or a sighting or something like that. We had very few sightings at our camp. Al Berry never did get a sighting, and he wanted one so bad. They're really pretty elusive creatures, as you know.
They're ninjas.
And my big question too is how does something so big stay hidden for so long?
Well, Danny reported
some of these things are huge. They're giants.
Right.
Danny reported.
The first thing I wanted when I got involved in this was where giants come from. These things are big, and how can they stay hidden without us knowing about it?
They're ninjas.
Scientifically,
forest ninjas.
Establishing their existence.
Right.
Well, I can get into that later, but there's some possible paranormal aspects to them that I think quantum physics might explain.
Cool. Now, the second audio clip that you sent me is marked. It says Apollo question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This was 2 years later after the first aggressive sound. Those kind of aggressive sounds were in 71, 72. This was in 1974, and my friend Bill McDowell and myself got into camp on horses, and they started doing their banging. They'll bang on logs, they'll snap rocks together, they whoop, they'll do stuff like that to see what your reaction is going to be. You're going to jump up and get a gun, then they're gone for the night. But we don't do that, and we didn't feel like that was the thing to do. And that's when they started yelling out at me, and I started yelling back, and got some pretty interesting interaction going that night. It's quite exciting. So that's what you're fixing here. Now, I say Paula question because it sounds like he's asking me something. I have no idea what it is. But
and that's the name you gave him, Paula.
What is Apollo? What word is that? I mean, why did you name it Apollo?
It's because that's what it sounds like. Apollo.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play it right now. Okay, I'm going to play that one more time. Here we go.
Right there, just see movement right through there.
Wow. How far do you think he was from you guys?
Oh, they were, there was three of them there that night. We think there was a family group, a mother, a father, and we think there was a small one, because I got a small voice recorded in there somewhere, too. But this one was probably 100 feet.
Wow, that's close.
That is close.
That's the night I seen one. Bill's seen another one, too, the same night.
Wow.
And
so how far elevation are you guys up?
elevation of the camp is 8,400 feet.
Wow.
84. Okay, that makes sense.
You have to get up tree line 10,000 feet or so, up and down canyons to get there. We either go horseback or we walk in.
How did you find this place?
Well, it had been a hunting camp for years and years before the Bigfoot stuff started. The Warren and Lewis Johnson used it since 1958. And we're not sure, but in retrospect, we think maybe these creatures had been observing the camp for some time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that certain night when they made themselves known, Warren seems to think that one of them got burned on the stove from the teapot hot water that was on the stove. There was a big muddy track in there they seen the next morning, and he thinks that's what got one of them kind of excited.
Oops.
Pretty hairy sounds, he said.
Yeah. So he was a little ticked off. Now, and that makes sense because, when David and us, when we go to the spot that we're talking about, it's only 5,000 feet, but it took a while for them to start interacting with us or David because they needed to check you out and see who you are. Mm-hmm. And like you guys, they are familiar. They know what you look like now. They know what you sound like. So, the more you go up to the same place over and over again, you try to get them to be comfortable with you.
That's so true. That's very, very true. And I really recommend that. Anybody that thinks they want to interact with these things or get closer to them, and ignore them when they first start out. I say that because if you ignore them, they come in closer. And leave food out for them. But you need to stay inside like a tent or a shelter of some type to start off with because they feel more secure that way, I think. So
you're saying then, well, at nighttime when you go to bed, obviously you go inside tents. So obviously you leave the food out when you go to bed then, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so obviously they're not going to come around if you're out sitting around. Now, when you guys are up there, do you guys make a campfire or is it just completely dark?
No, it is a fire.
There is a fire.
We have a stove that we made down here in the valley and then assembled and then took up their mules and reassembled it. That's how we take things up generally, haul them in on mules. Now,
do you guys, so basically you have stuff up there already set up and left there, or do you guys?
Yes.
Ah.
Well, if the bears haven't torn it up, each year when we go in, we have to rearrange things. The bear makes themselves at home there. There's a lot of bear up there.
Well, next question, how do you know it's the bear and not the Sasquatch?
Well, first of all, the sounds, and second of all, the tracks they leave.
Well, no, I mean when you go back and see your equipment tore up.
Oh, because these things have never offered to bother our stuff.
Okay.
They've actually moved our deer from hanging, when we hang them up on a rack behind our shelter, on tracks underneath it, and the deer's been moved. But they've never taken anything that they, I guess, felt we didn't leave for them.
Now
they think.
Right.
Not,
yeah.
At least the ones I'm dealing with. I can only talk about the ones I've dealt with up there. Everything else is hearsay from people I've interviewed.
Now, obviously, they're intelligent. Now, when you say they moved the deer, now, obviously, we know that they're meat eaters. How come they didn't take the deer, but they moved it?
Well, good question. I don't know. I guess maybe out of respect, because we did leave them food, and we left like a stew or something like that we'd made out, and left a spoon there. I guess they felt like that was for them.
Wow.
They would take it.
Well, what kind of foods do you guys usually leave when?
Whatever we were eating,
yeah.
Whatever it is. Depends on. I mean, this has gone on for years up there, so just what we're eating. If we're taking mules in, then we take some like stew or something like that. If we're backpacking in, you try to take something a little
light.
lighter.
Yeah. Do you guys ever, leave like maybe tuna or apples, or is it more meat?
Yeah, they're omnivorous. They can eat like we do.
Right.
They'll eat fruit. They'll eat meat. They eat like we do.
Do you find that they are interested in a certain type of food? Like, since you've been going up for so long, have you found out that they are really into prime rib, or you know what I'm saying?
Prime rib.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
actually, our prime rib up there was spam. We take our spam and cut it up and fry it, and they would eat that.
I mean, because that's what we do. When we go up, there's about 4 of us, 5 of us, and we take everything but the kitchen sink when it comes to food. All right, and when we are done and about to go, we take everything we have, and I mean leftovers and stuff that we haven't even got into, and we leave them a massive feast, and we've been doing that now going on for a long time. Yeah. Wow. So and so that's why we think that they are sort of kind of getting familiar with us, because like you said, we leave them food. When the windows of my truck incident occurred, I was so thankful that they didn't thrash my truck, that we emptied out all the ice chests that we had, and I actually took banana leaves from the back of my yard, and I actually spread the banana leaves on a cover of a tote box, right? And I put all the food on the banana leaves, and I left it like a big offering. And that's what we do when we go up. So, because, like I said, we're trying to be friends with these guys up there. And I know they're watching us when we go up there all the time, because you just have that feeling. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's what we do. We try to get them to come closer every time, come closer. And so far, it's been working. I mean, now we got them screaming at us. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing,
Well, understanding what they could be is what I get into a little bit with my book.
Right.
And that's all we can do is guess a little bit here, but it's educated guess from history and from Greek mythology and biblical history. They're not human, like I say, like us, but they have a human aspects to them.
Right. Okay, let's listen to the last sound you have, and it's a samurai whoop. What's this about? You there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this, okay? All right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to play it one more time. That childlike voice that I hear, that them or you?
That was them. All that was them.
Wow.
The big snap you heard the first two, that's the kind of snap you'll hear. If it's defined, it's a huge snap.
Right.
It's not like something stepped on something. It's purposely done, pretty sure. And the whooping, they'll whoop in series, and I think that different types of whoops. And I've recorded a lot of the whoops. That's on my second CD. And I think it's their method of signaling to the other ones, because generally it starts out in whoops and snaps, and then you'll hear the cries like that, and it could be their communication method to each other. When it's directed at you, you know it. It's like a question.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I had that several times that one night in '74.
Very cool. All right, now let's talk about the paranormal side of Bigfoot. And we've talked about this on our show, and I'm glad you're bringing it up, because one word that Alan describes these creatures, and he gives them ninjas. They're ninjas, and what he means by ninjas is that you might see them and you might not, and they're really quick to hide. They move really, naturally when you're talking forest and rocks, and it's like, that's their domain. A lot of people said they've seen them walking, all of a sudden they're gone, and then all of a sudden they appear again. It's like, okay, well, what the heck is going on here? Can you explain any of that to us?
Well, I can try. Well, we live in a three-dimensional world. Quantum physics says there's more dimensions. And I think we probably, as humans, have attributes that we haven't explored yet, that we don't know about. To use the word paranormal is common, but I think it's probably just things we don't understand about ourselves and about what the cosmos is really all about. These things, when I first started hearing people say they've seen them disappear, I just kind of wrote them off. Well, what were they smoking or what were they doing?
Right.
And I kind of thought of it that way, but then I kept hearing more and more say that, very credible people, and I thought, well, okay, that might explain how we would follow a track trail up there, some tracks, and all of a sudden there's no, where does it go after that? They just stop.
Yeah.
And I had that happen as early as 2009 or 10, I think it was, when we was following a track trail. And I mean, these tracks were deep. Whatever was making this was huge. It was bipedal. It was a Bigfoot, because my daughter had seen one that morning, and here's this bipedal trackway, and all of a sudden it just stops. So you look up in the tree. Well, did it go in the tree? You look over these boulders. Could it have jumped a boulder? You just look around trying to figure out where these tracks went, and there's no tracks anymore. And nothing we had could have made something that deep in the terms.
Not even horses make that deep.
There's those things that's you really just can't explain unless you get into the math of quantum physics. delved into that somewhat, and I think it's just something we've got to learn about. They do have some attributes that we just haven't been able to follow as of yet. I had some sounds up there we were listening to. It sounded like these things. We hauled some barrels in years ago to store our fruit in, some ring barrels so the bears couldn't get in them. And one night we was inside the shelter. We thought those barrels had been ripped off, and all the cans and everything we had stored in there were just being tossed around everywhere. You could hear metallic sounds everywhere. And we look out there later after these things were gone, and nothing's been moved. Nothing's changed. So how does that happen? Is it mass hypnosis? I mean, are they causing that effect on people, or is that actually happening and in another dimension, and we're hearing through the gate that might be there, the portal possibly, that these things are able to go in and out of?
Wow.
So those are all just ideas.
Yeah.
Because we've had lights fall on us. We've had different things like that going on, which for years I wouldn't talk about. Because Alberry, being a professional, he had 2 degrees in science, and one's a master's, actually. He said, if you talk about that stuff, he says,
right,
you're not going to get anybody to listen to you anymore. Right. And so I didn't talk about it. I think now it belongs in the circle of things to talk about, because it happened, and more people are saying it happens to them. And so I just, it's just taken me into Peru this last trip, which we can talk about if you like, but
yeah,
there has been advanced cultures here on this earth, and I know that just from what I've seen and looked at down there with archaeologists, and it's just amazing what is down there. The not human remains that we've found, and they are not human, but they're bipedal.
Whoa! You found? Oh, you mean overseas?
No, I mean in Peru.
In Peru. Okay, yeah.
South America.
Yeah, South America. Okay.
I was just there just last January, and these elongated skulls, which you see the Incas and the Egyptians had. Their royalty had elongated skulls. The sagittal peaks. You know what I'm talking about there?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, the Incas and the Egyptians all mimicked something, because they cradle boarded their royalty youth to make their skulls elongate like that, thinking maybe it would make them smart, like something they were mimicking. Well, we found what they were mimicking, and these skulls that we've came across down there are not human. They have a single parietal. There's no sagittal suture at all. We have 2 parietal bones in our head up the top, and you can see the suture in all human remains. These things didn't have that. There's all kinds of enigmas associated with the skulls, and they seem to be associated also with the megaliths that you see all over in the high country of Peru. These boulders that some weigh 100 tons, moved from 40 to 60 miles away, put up on top of this mountain, and placed like a jigsaw puzzle without a seam, without mortar. The seam, I shouldn't say without seam. You can't get a hair in between those seams, and it's outside of what you can imagine anything we could do. And for someone to say the Incas did that is just ridiculous. The tool, the hardening of the stone, is so much harder than the tools the Incas had. It just doesn't fit.
Right.
So something non-human, I think, has something to do with all that. What I'm saying all that is, it comes down to there's been advanced cultures here, alien cultures, I should call them, that I think has been here, and that takes me into the biblical history of giants again. And Bigfoot is a giant. The Mayans and the Aztec both had stories warring with giants in the north, and that's taken me over to the Lovelock Caves, Nevada, a couple times. And there's some interesting stuff coming out of that, which is going to be in a book this summer, which I think if you're really interested in this stuff, you ought to get it. It's put out by L.A. Mazzula, and he's the one I went to Peru with, and he's got some information that's going to be incredibly insightful to look at. But anyway, I said all that to say this. Could Bigfoot be a remnant of something from that culture? And could he have attributes that culture left him? And that's where I go with it a little bit.
Do you think maybe, a lot of people think possibly a missing link Where do you think that comes into play?
There's another question for us. There's a lot of Native American stories of them mating with the women of Native Americans. If they are a remnant of the Nephilim, which is the giants of old in the Bible or the Greek mythology, gets into celestial intervention into humanity, which I think that's what this is. I've seen in Peru. And they have crossbred with the natives over the centuries. How much human are they? They're not like us, but they're still got language like we do.
Right.
I think humans are hybrids, in my opinion. I don't believe in Darwinism, not to the degree that it's taught to us. I think something was planted in us a long time ago that gave us our sentiency, our self-awareness, and our cognizance, and that makes us the image of quote-unquote God.
Right.
And something alien has maybe implanted something into one of the great apes of some kind to give them cognizance, and that's maybe what Bigfoot is, but he's crossed now with a lot of humans, so I don't know what percentage these things are. And
that's why, to this day, and I want to say including our DNA testing that was taken from the windows, Melba Ketchum and Oxford University, they're doing DNA testing and coming back with human, but yet obviously they have to take it even further and try to break it down to see, okay, where is that coming from? And that's what upsets me, because the professor that did the DNA testing on my windows, the first result came back human, so he assumed it was contaminated right away. So we did it again, and it came back human again, not realizing that, wait a minute, maybe this creature,
maybe they are half human.
Yeah, maybe there's some human involved
in there.
Well,
the mitochondrial DNA, which is the maternal side, according to Ketchum's study, if you want to go with that one, is human.
Right.
It's the nuclear DNA, the male counterpart that's unidentifiable. And Brian Sykes at Oxford, he didn't come up with anything different either. I'm not sure how deep he went into it, but what he found was a unique bear with some of the sample that he had. We are trying to get DNA out of what we came across in Peru. We contacted the authorities down there to try to get the right forms, because it's really hard to get some of the stuff out of Peru. The government just keeps it all pinned down pretty tight.
Especially
in fact,
our
they
government.
find giant remains, they put them away, just like the Smithsonian does up here.
And why do you think the government is just so not letting us know the truth?
Because it takes away from Darwinism. And Darwinism, you got to go with that because that's what science said.
Right.
I don't go with it. But they get a lot of funding, the Smithsonian does, anyway, from our government. And I believe that there's probably all kinds of things hidden in the Smithsonian and there's a lot of people on that same track. I spoke with Jim Verrera, who has done a huge study on the giants found in North America here, and there's been a lot of them, and they're all gone now. You can't even see them.
Wow.
He's got pictures, paper clippings from the early 1900s, late 1800s. Smithsonian has to stay with Darwinism because that's science. Anything else is hooey.
Right. I heard that the museums, they have some back rooms where all this stuff is hidden, even giants. And I mean, obviously, when somebody finds a giant skeleton or anything that's going to change the history of our books, the government comes in, snatches it away, and hides it, and
threatens
everybody. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I know where you're going with this, because
well, they haven't found everything, Jeffrey.
Right. Oh, no.
The things that they haven't found, and you're going to see some of that in Mozula's book this summer. He's also having another DVD put out, and I'll be in that one myself, like I was in his other one. But you'll see some things that should open some people's eyes that the government has not got a hold of yet.
Wow.
I better watch out what I'm saying.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm kind of under a non-disclosure agreement here.
Well, yeah, you better stop, because they are listening to the show and they are watching us.
Oh, my gosh. I said too much already.
Yeah, so, once you call into the show, once you come into, once you are involved with Paranormal Central, you are marked. Well, I can tell you right now, Ron, you have been marked for so long. It's not, I mean, don't you ever find that you are being watched at all? Have you found anything weird?
I move around too much. I don't think they can keep track of me.
Yeah, don't bet on it, pal.
Jump in a plane and be somewhere else tomorrow.
I don't think I'm a threat to them, but I think there's too much being exposed now, and I think that's what the 2012 Mayan calendar was all about a new enlightenment coming, because more and more people are being enlightened to reality and the truth that's really coming forward now.
And that's one of the reasons why we're doing the show. We're taking it to another level. No more of these reality shows on TV where you get people running around trying to find things. You know, here on this show, I bring people out like you and James Fox and people who have actual evidence and that we can show on the air. That's what it's all about. And I think you're right. I think the government is now letting little bits come out because they know that they can't suppress all of it. They can't.
Like, I visualize, like, you know, the little Dutch boy putting his finger in the leak of the dike. Only the government has all these little leaks and not enough fingers right now, you know.
Right. So I think pretty soon, maybe even this year, I have a feeling something's going to happen. Something's going to get revealed. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's UFOs or I just don't know. But
UFOs are common.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
South America and in Mexico.
Sure.
As you guys probably know.
Oh, yeah.
You don't talk to anybody down there that hasn't seen them or heard about them, or they just take them as for granted.
Right.
We went out with the actual mayor of Paracas down there to a cemetery site, and he showed us an area. So where those trees are over there used to be a lake. He said until that UFO went down there, and then the lake dried up, and it's just like it's something that happens, like you're driving around the corner or something. It just people see them. They see aliens. I don't know how much our government is suppressing or how much it seems like up here, you say aliens or something like that, people just sort of frown at you, look the other way, but that's becoming less and less. You know, when this first started with me with Bigfoot, I didn't tell people about it because they're going to laugh you out of the town, and I was a businessman then, and I was all my life, and I didn't want to have that kind of a stigma about me, so didn't talk too much about it. But I do now. I don't really care what people think.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right. And I like the comment that you made when we were doing the interview on film, that you're tired. You don't care what people think anymore. Well, what was the quote you said?
Say what? What would it was?
When you were sitting on the couch and you pretty much said, "I'm done trying to convince people."
Yeah, I don't try to convince people that Bigfoot exists.
Right.
Because, you know, if it's got language, and it does, and people are seeing them, I mean, there's not hundreds of reports. There's thousands of reports, credible reports now. They are out there.
Right.
There are giants among us. Why they stay so stealthy, why they stay so hidden, and that is another theory I've got. Why are they like they are? And I think we need to know who we are as humans, and who we were made to be like, creators that we are. And I think if we understand who we are as humans, and then try to understand what they could be as not humans, it can get a little frightening.
Yeah.
And there's also a issue called quantum entanglement, which if somebody wants to look up on that, it's the protons can actually entangle, and if these creatures are from alien in the past somehow, it's possible that when aliens do come again, which they come all the time, but I think we're going to see something pretty heavy here one of these days. It won't be that long, and they're going to be accepted. But what Bigfoot's realm is in all this, and what his position would be, I don't know. But if quantum entanglement has something to do with it, that means the aliens can call them in. Why don't they come in and shake my hand? I've never offered to threaten them. Right. Why don't they give me a right on the shoulder? I've always wanted that. Get me through that forest quicker. These things are staying elusive for a reason.
Right.
I don't offer them any threat, and I've been up there by myself when they've been around, and it's why don't they come in and let me see who they are and
Good
talk
question.
to me?
You know, a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say that you know, because the Bigfoot community is like a tight-knit thing now that Facebook came around, and the ones that have, you know, a little bit of, I don't know what you say, experiences with them, they say that, like, how come, they don't come in and have a dinner with me and stuff like that?
Yeah. Why wait and why hide behind those trees and stay there just watching us all the time?
Right.
They're bigger than us. They're faster than us. They're stronger than us. They're stealthy.
They're real smooth, man. I mean, agile. I was
they're
trying to.
so agile
I was trying to
and
explain
they're smart,
that.
So why? I don't offer them any threat, and I've always asked myself, why don't they come in and expose themselves to me? Let me see what they are, and maybe if there is a peaceful transition into our culture or something like that, I can help them with that. But I don't think that's what it's all about anymore.
Neither do I.
Now, you mentioned UFOs and Bigfoot. We've had reports where when there's a Bigfoot sighting, there's also a UFO sighting. And, you made a comment about that. We had a situation not far from, actually between Clovis and the foothills, where a couple of girls spotted a Bigfoot running near some orange trees, and it was like running away from these bright lights that were behind this, these trees. And we get that all the time. As a matter of fact, on David Ragosa's one of his cameras back in the day, where he got this a Bigfoot walking up a hill, some lights at about 12:30 in the morning in the middle of frickin' nowhere, and they got him on this camera. Like you said, there's bright lights that seem to follow Bigfoots. And now, have you ever heard, and I'm sure you have, that people have seen Sasquatch or Bigfoot at night or at dusk, and they notice that their eyes glow red? Have you ever?
I've heard that.
Yeah, I mean, why? Is that something, maybe powers that they have? I mean,
it could be a transitional state that they're going through. That's just a guess on my part. I have no idea. I don't know what their eyes do. There's all kinds of theories about that.
Right. Yeah, and obviously we don't know. We're just making educated guesses, only because we've never asked one in person. So
right. There seems to be that's what I like to do. But it seems like there is a definite UFO connection with these creatures.
Right.
And that's what I guess I'm getting at with they could be part alien.
Yeah. And I agree. And this is, when I first started this, somebody said, well, it's the aliens' pets that got loose on Earth. But I don't think so. I think goes way deeper than that.
Maybe they're their bodyguard.
The big picture is what I'd like for people to look into and do their own homework on it. The big picture is, what's the end game here? What's it all about?
Right.
And
especially when you
I have
start
my theory on that, and everybody else does too. But
start tying it into what you're talking about in Peru and all that stuff. It makes a really big picture.
There's a lot of going on this Earth, and I think we're all kind of complacent with, tomorrow's going to be here. It's going to be the same old, but no, that's not necessarily true. I think tomorrow could be different, and the next year could be different, and we shouldn't get too complacent with our lifestyle. There's a lot of things going on in our economy and in the world in general that we should be aware of, and Bigfoot's just one of them. UFOs is another one. We're going to be offered advanced technology by UFOs when they do come, because they have it. And that's exactly what was happening just prior to the flood. And if you believe in the flood, which most scientists do too, that's what was being
let me
offered.
ask you a question.
If you read anything in the New Testament, Christ said, as it was in the days of Noah, that's the way it'll be in the last days when he comes again.
Let me ask you a question along.
It kind of gets you, not religious, but it gets you thinking a little spiritual, maybe.
Right.
Let me ask you, can I ask you
a
question?
There's more going on in this cosmos than meets our three-dimensional eyes.
Okay, go ahead.
Now,
Alan had the question.
Have you, now, lately, I've had a lot of people coming to me with dreams. I mean, not in the last few years, I don't usually, they're all crazy like, but only lately, they're all almost similar. Have you had people telling you that also as you're doing this? They come with dreams?
I'm sorry, Jeff, you broke up just a little bit. I missed the core of the question.
Have you had people come to you with dreams lately? Like
dreams?
Yeah,
dreams.
Before, everybody had these like off-the-wall dreams, but lately...
Let me give you something there.
I knew it.
But some sometimes dreams are a little more
Right.
than just a dream. In fact, something happened to me not last year, but the year before, when I went into camp by myself, which I'm not supposed to do that, but I did it. And it seems like things can happen when you've gotten rid of your analytical mind and you're just relaxed. In not a sleep state, but that alpha sleep just before you get into sleep, when you're not really asleep, but you're not awake.
Right.
That's when things can happen because you're not analyzing things, you're not thinking. And I think that gets us into another potential dimension. It's not a total dream state, but it's kind of a state where something else can communicate with you. Because I think we have within us, all humans do, all kinds of things that we don't understand.
I agree.
But I had something happen to me just as I was about to go to sleep up there, and I heard some chatter, Bigfoot chatter, and that just woke me up. And then I had a big thump right outside the little tent I set up because the shelter was about to cave in up there at the time. And this thing started walking around out there, and it was a bipedal something. And you hear it breathing. I'm there by myself with nothing but a little pea shooter, to take care of the snake if I see one or something.
Right.
I didn't take a big part of them because I have no intentions of shooting one of these.
Right.
But I do believe, in retrospect, he's looking for food that I did not leave out.
Oops.
Oh.
And but I'm saying all that because things come to you when you're in that relaxed state. And even Bigfoot, a lot of them are seen during the night, or heard or something like that. Because very rarely do you hear of any sightings going on in the daytime.
Right. Mostly at night when you're asleep. And that's
when you're asleep, they hear them rustle around. They might look out there and see something mess around the dumpster or something like that. I hear that a lot. And a lot of times they may be misidentified with a bear, but the other part of that is maybe they think it's a bear and it's really a Bigfoot too.
Or a Bigfoot
bears
and a
do
bear.
walk and can walk on 2 feet.
Right.
But
Yeah.
their legs are not near as long as these things are.
Right. Exactly. So, all right,
But yeah,
Ron.
the dream thing has got
Yeah.
something to be said about.
Yeah.
That relaxed state that you get into.
Well, I've had a lot of people coming and telling me these dreams, and they don't know each other, but only they're telling me almost like the same thing, like the same theme, I guess you would say, right? And lately it's been off the hook. I get them like every few days. Somebody's telling me about a dream all the time. It's weird.
So, all right, Ron. Well, I am going to let you go. I appreciate you coming on again. And again, I appreciate you coming on last week. Give out your website one more time, please.
Bigfoot sounds or Bigfoot recordings, either one will get you there. .com.
Okay. And that, and then again, after we say goodbye to you, we're going to go ahead and give away those 2 books. And I know you have a book coming out, and when it does come out, I want you to come back on the show and push it. And hopefully that we will be picked up and we will be on national TV. I will let you know what's going to happen with this episode that we shot with you and when it's going to air and all that kind of good stuff, because I got a feeling it's going to air hopefully within the next 3 or 4 months. That's what we're planning. And I will let you know when it does. But keep us informed. That's cool that what you do. We are interested, and if you ever get something that's just going to blow people away, we want to know about it.
Plus, I'm going to have all your.
It's my pleasure to be here. I appreciate it a lot.
I'm gonna have all your information up on paranormalcentral.net. Like where to get your book and contact and all that stuff too. So if there's anything you want on there, just message me on Facebook or something.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, we'll put you out there. All right, Ron, I appreciate it. Again, keep us in the loop, and if you get anything that you want to break to the world, you know where you're going to go, right?
Okay.
All right, Ron, take care, okay?
Thank you.
Later,
Okay,
Ron.
take care. See ya. All right, that was Ron Morehead. Very cool stuff.
Cool, really cool.
I've heard his stuff before, and again, everybody who's been in the Bigfoot business know who this guy is. He's been around a long time. People didn't take him seriously at the very beginning, but when other people started getting stuff on audio and then matching them up with his stuff, then people are starting to step back and say, wait a minute, I think there's something else going on here.
Well, I thought Emerald was going to jump in there for a minute, and ask a question, but it would have been good to hear what she had to say, that's for sure.
So, all right. Okay, we got 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to give one book to the 10th caller at 559-287-8367. 559-287-8367. That's anywhere in the world. You can call that number and be the 10th caller, and we will give you a book. I'll send it wherever you are, on a little island someplace in the North Pacific. I don't care. If you're someplace on a desert island, just make sure you have a zip code, and I'll send it to you. So, okay, 10th caller, 287-8367, area code 559. What I want to do too, and there's a couple more people that I want to thank. The Ron interview came up all of a sudden. I want to thank Danny Valderrama for taking awesome photographs. He was there taking photographs. I think he had like 400 pictures that he took. They're awesome. He's going to send some to Alan, and we're going to post basically a bunch of them up on the website. It's going to take a bit to do it because I think Danny is working on the photographs and cleaning them up and making them look really cool. He sent the band Possessed Tranquility and the other, I forgot Possessed Tranquility to thank them, the official house band of Paranormal Central.
Awesome.
Everybody loved them. Even James Fox, when he was sitting on the couch, he's going, damn, these guys are good.
And he even wrote a song for us.
So, the opening song and the ending song that you hear at Paranormal Central is by Possessed Tranquility. So it's called The Unexplained, which, hey, fits it, doesn't it? I want to thank Danny for taking the photographs, and his son, Trevin. He basically was assisting Lisa, the executive producer, in anything that we needed. Trevin was there, and he basically kicked butt. And and Lisa even said that he kicked butt. So we appreciate both those guys for helping us out.
And not only did he kick it, he ran his butt off.
Yeah, he did. So matter of fact, Lisa offered him a job. Actually, offered both those guys a job in Hollywood. So
that's amazing.
So is that cool?
Cool.
So, okay. Before is there anybody? Are they calling? Yeah. Okay. We talk about all kinds of stuff on this show, and in the past year, I've told you that stuff that we are now witnessing on TV, like these TV shows, you are actually listening to dialect on these shows that we talk about here. There are two shows that I want to talk about really quick before we end. The show called I Believe, actually it's just called Believe, and the other one is Revolution. You guys know I've talked about Revolution several times here, and that show is about when the grid goes out. All right?
What about that clip that you... Okay, that was one of the things I didn't write down. You put that movie clip of...
Uh-oh. Did we lose? I think we lost Skype. No? Yeah?
We lost Skype? For reals?
Okay, we'll sign on back on.
That's weird. And this time we stayed on live stream, but we lost Skype. Weird.
It's going ding, 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 ding. Put your earphones on.
It sounds like water dripping. The sink is dripping.
Why did we lose him?
I don't know. Yeah, you put that clip of the airplane, of the people in the airplane.
Mm-hmm. We're back on?
That was like weird, man. That was too spooky for me.
Oh, yeah, that was from Elizabeth.
Oh, was
it?
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, okay, I want to play you a clip. Now, the show called Believe, for those who don't know what this show is about, it just debuted last week. And it was, it's about a little girl who has these special powers, all right? And she can do things with her mind. It's like, she can actually physically do things, move things. She can listen, hear people thinking. She has powers, all right? There's a part that in this particular, I think it was a debut episode, where she is, or they are, did it cut off again? No? That they're in this warehouse, and they hired this guy who was in prison, who was just about to get put in the put away for death. Anyway, he was going to be killed because he did something really bad. They hired him, and they gave him money to protect this girl, not knowing that his guy is the actual father. But he said something to him the new job that he has to protect her. And what I want to do is I want to play you a clip on what he tells him he has to do to keep her going, to keep her alive. Listen.
Why me? That is for you. I want you to take good care of her, educate her, good organic food, comfy accommodation.
Did you hear that?
You're
Let's try that again.
going to be raising her now.
I need a gun. Why me?
That is for you. I want you to take good care of her, educate her, good organic food, comfy accommodation.
Right there. Feed her organic food. Organic food.
Oh, no, I get.
Okay.
Wow, it sounds like
Why,
we're in a
why
cave.
do we get? Why are we getting the devil?
Sounds
Check.
like I'm in a
I
cave.
think it's on here. Yeah, it's fine. I think this thing is this. Okay. Yes, it's
That's cool.
it's organic food.
Right.
All right.
Don't feed her GMO.
Give her organic food because she has powers.
Oh, man.
Did you get that?
Yeah,
Okay,
just like people told me, don't cut your hair. Right. Cut your hair, and then you lose your powers.
Oh,
Like,
there you go.
whoa.
Don't cut your powers. What's that mythology? Was it?
Hercules.
Hercules.
No.
No.
Is it Hercules? No. Hercules sneeze? No, I don't know.
I don't. But you know what I'm talking about. So, okay. The next one is Revolution.
Samson. No?
Samson and Goliath.
Samson,
Yes.
yeah. Samson.
Okay. Now the Revolution. This part is where when the grid goes out, what's left of the United States government is ascending on this particular side of the United States, and they're coming in and they're having a talk with, now there's a bunch of congressmen there and higher authority in the government. Listen what this guy says.
Great civilization is not conquered from without until it has destroyed itself from within.
I saw that quote in the Mel Gibson movie.
Making fun.
That is what happened to us. But it wasn't the blackout. Long before that, our nation was ruined by perverts and parasites. I believe the blackout was our punishment, but I also believe this is our chance to atone.
Listen.
Make no mistake, gentlemen, I am proposing a coup. Air Force One went down, we lost the president, the speaker, most of the senior staff. Once we handle the vice president, I am the next in line.
Here we go.
While we sit here and wait out the purge, we are going to lose 70% of our population. You may think that's a tragedy. I see it as natural selection. The tide will ebb. The weak will die, but the strong will survive, and we'll build a new America committed to the ideals we believe in.
Watch. Listen.
Like it says on the dollar, right under the pyramid, Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new order for the ages.
What have I been telling you?
New world order.
Even if we're able to convert the other soldiers on the base,
Listen.
mainland's a different story.
Plans are in motion. For one, my Assistant Secretary Randall Flynn is making preparations, and this gentleman is going to help us win hearts and minds. Victor.
Thank you, sir. I'm Victor Doyle. I'm a consultant with the DoD. I specialize in interrogation and re-education, and I can promise you that whether people join us willingly or not doesn't really matter, as long as you know how to apply pressure in all the right places.
Ouch.
For those who have been watching in frustration, as our once proud nation withered and died, this is your moment. You will be the new founding fathers, remembered and hailed forever.
Boom.
And don't eat GMO.
All right. That's from Revolution, guys. Did you guys get all that? I don't know what else to tell you, but what we've been telling you about the New World Order, and the weak are going to die, and they want to keep the strong alive to revamp the earth and basically to move on.
So it's like the movies and TV shows and Legos and everything is telling us straight up.
I not unless they're listening to this show and they're taking my ideas and your ideas and they're running with it, which I don't think is happening.
I don't know. What's his name? Called Bigfoot Ninjas. And he doesn't even know nothing about
Joe Rogan,
Bigfoot.
I know. he listened to us. I know they do. Okay, so did you just, eat organic foods because, have this girl eat organic food because of the powers I mean, that was I mean, they're telling you right there that if you're going to feed her anything else but organic food, she's going to lose her powers. That's what I got out of it. And then here at Revolution, basically they say they know 70% of the Earth population are going to die off, which are the weak, and then the 30%, which are the strongest ones who want to survive, they want to keep around to build up again and to start over again, and which is the New World Order.
So maybe all the people that was smart enough to eat organic are going to live.
Well, you know what? I've always said, and for those who are having babies right now and who are going to have kids soon, it's an experiment, guys. Really give that baby organic food. No fluoride. Start from, do that. And I bet you your child will become such a brainiac and he will blow you away. And try it for all those people who are about to have newborns. Keep them away from fluoride. When it's time to take them to the dentist, there are dentists out there who don't use fluoride. All right? There are dentists who specifically don't use fluoride. Take them to one of those dentists. Strictly give them organic foods, organic milk, organic baby formula. There are out there. And see what happens to your baby. If I would have known this prior to having Christian, I would have done the same thing as an experiment. I think it would have been a great experiment. Try it, guys.
But we don't know, I mean, we're all trusting, we're in America,
yeah.
And all that. We're the greatest country and the best everything, and really it ain't.
So who won that book?
Rick Anderson.
Yay, Rick.
Rick did? Rick?
Yay.
No, that sucks.
He'll love
no,
that.
We're not going to give him that book. No, just kidding. All right, we got one more book to give away. Let's do it right now. 10th caller at area code 559-287-8367. 559-287-8367. Anywhere in the world. Rick, you cannot win 2 times, so don't call. So, all right, come on, let's do it. Caller number 10 for Ron's book. And that includes, there's a CD inside. So when you're reading the book and it tells you to play clip 1, you play it. And that way it's like storytelling. And it's very cool. So 2 books, and they're going to be autographed by Ron Morehead. All right, now.
Did you see the post on Facebook today where, I don't know if it's true or not, I haven't had a chance to really check this up, but it's saying that they're going to send the chicken to China and be processed and then sent back to us.
Oh, God, I hope not. Why would they do that? That's stupid.
I don't know, but only it looks like it's legit to me.
Oh, my God.
And that is scary. That
why would they do that?
The same reason that you were just playing the thing. They want you to die, everybody to die. So they'll send it over there. China can do whatever they want with it, and then they'll send it back to us, and we'll eat it.
Can you imagine that? We're going to send them over, live chickens, and they're going to kill them over there and process them, then send them back to the United States. Yes, right. That's not going to be something that I'm going to be eating anytime soon. If I see anything made in China or processed in China, screw it. That is not going to be in my diet, period.
I will follow up on that and let everybody know next week what I found on that chicken thing, because it's scary.
That's just ridiculous, guys. That's just stupid. That's like hiring these big corporations. When you call to talk to an operator, you get India, or you get somewhere over there. It just doesn't make any sense, man. And especially food.
Well, all they're doing is trying to hurt us on that.
Yeah, that's just
they
ridiculous.
say, "Oh, we're saving money," but really they're putting everybody out of work.
That too.
And they're doing it on purpose. They don't have to send it over there.
They don't. No, they're probably going to input some chemical that they can't use, and it's illegal here in the States. They're going to do it over there, and then that's what's going to happen. And so I just heard Skype. No.
No.
I keep hearing. Are we on still? Yeah. Okay. So, all right. We got 6 minutes, and the phone is still ringing. Emerald is trying to get the 10th caller for that book. So, go for it. Well, I don't know what to tell you guys, but I am very, very, extremely tired right now. I wish I could have taken a nap today, but I couldn't. So, we shall see. I still got to go back to work tomorrow. So, we're having a blast doing what we're doing. I want to thank, from the bottom of my heart, the Dark Matter Network, artbell.com. Keith, all those guys, you over there, for allowing us to send our signal to you to be played on your network. It's very, very awesome for us.
And it's all over the place, man. I want to thank everybody all over the place.
Yes, and
I mean, like the Philippines. I mean,
we get emails and calls. I just got some freaking pictures sent from Argentina. And where do you think that came from? All right. Now, obviously, they were listening. He told me they were listening on the Art Bell Network from Argentina, and they sent me some pictures. I just got it yesterday.
It's
Crazy.
Really cool, man.
Crazy.
Amazing.
So I
see, now I heard that one.
See that's coming from Skype.
It sounds like a little drip.
Yeah, drip, drip.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope we're not losing any signal over there. So see, there it goes again. What's going on over
yeah,
there?
but only we're fine on this one. What's up with that?
I don't know. That's kind of crazy, huh? So.
Yeah, this time we're opposite, and we did a lot to this one.
Yeah, we did.
It should have dropped if it was going to.
Yes, exactly. So
look, I'm waving my hand around. Whoa.
So, all right. For those who don't know, we have a website, paranormalcentral.net. You can go to our website and watch the archive. A lot of people don't know that we've been doing this for 4 years now, and we have archives on another channel.
Yeah,
from live stream that we have like 35 shows on there. A lot of people don't know. Maybe you ought to do is put a link to that.
Well, what I'm going to do is I have them all.
Okay.
Every one of them on a hard drive.
Okay.
And I'm going to.
That's a long time to do that, dude.
It takes time.
Just put a link. Just put a link to the old shows on the live stream.
Okay. They don't drop off?
1 minute? Okay, we got 1 minute to go. So we're going to go ahead and say goodbye now to 1 minute, really? I have 56 here.
Yeah, but only he's a little bit ahead of us on the minutes.
Okay. All right.
So we go by his clock.
I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight, and Ron Morehead for coming on and talking Bigfoot.
Thank you, Ron.
Really appreciate it. So peace out, and remember to keep your eyes to the skies, and I hope you witness something that you cannot explain. Until next week, good night, everybody. From Alan, Emerald, and Jeffrey, have a good night. Take care.
You have been listening to Paranormal Central with Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas, broadcasting worldwide at paranormalcentral.net and on artbell.com. Stay tuned for next time. Remember to keep your eyes to the skies. And we hope you witness something you cannot explain.
Congratulations to UFO family for winning the book.
Looking for you, you're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe the unexplained? Look into the sky.
You can see like kind of fingers there. The arm, if it's an arm, it's pretty skinny to be a bare arm.
Right.
Not quite sure what it is.
Okay.
The only one thing I know out there has fingers.
Did this have fingers?
It looks like it has. I can see about 3 fingers, and then what looks like a thumb on the bottom on the second picture.
Oh, on the second picture. Okay, let's see the second picture. Hold on, let me go to the second picture now. That would be Bigfoot number 2. Ooh,
wow, look at that.
All together.
And like the elbow and wrist. Looks like he's
the wrist kind of looks weird. Like it's maybe turned a different way.
Looks like he's going to grab the...
On my screen, you can kind of see fingernails at the top.
Wow.
Black fingernails.
That's pretty cool, man.
That is cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty
Looks
cool
like
and
he's
scary.
grabbing the branch or
He's
something.
not standing in front of the camera, so we don't know exactly what it is.
Right. Wow.
Well, I never seen a bear make his paw do that.
No. And yes,
But he's flashing a gang sign.
really, Orale. All right, Bigfoot number. Wait a minute, where'd it go? There it is, number 3. I see a picture.
Ooh,
What do we have here?
There he is.
This is from Jim Greenolds. He's the Cherokee Indians, and he and his father and his son were out digging for ramps, and those are a type of onion. And when they walked down the stream, they saw a Bigfoot creature eating a deer next to the stream. And then when it saw them, it stood up, and it was about 9 feet tall. It had red hair. It was about 6 to 8 inches long. And his father put his hand up, and he said to the creature, he said, "Osego," which means hello in Cherokee.
Yeah. That's what it
So
means.
the creature said it back to him.
Whoa.
And left the area.
Yeah.
And they said that he was looking through the internet trying to find something that closely resembled what they saw, and he saw this picture here by this person, Alexander Fednoff, and he said this is a picture that looks almost exactly like what they saw, standing there crossing on the river eating a deer.
And what state was this in?
What's that?
What state was this in?
This was in West Virginia.
West Virginia. West Virginia, they have a lot of sightings over there, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do.
Yeah, we sure do.
Wow.
You know that almost, the face and nose, it almost looks like what Rick Dyer has that he's dragging around in a trailer.
You know, and I heard about that too, that somebody finally came out and said it's all a fake.
Yeah.
Well, we all knew that to begin with, though. All right. Okay, so this is number 3. Now we're going to go to number 4.
Yep.
And we have, what is this? A movie coming out?
Some Bigfoot movies coming out this year. So keep us entertained while we're not in the woods. This first movie is called Exist, and it's a Blair Witch type of found footage movie, and it's also from the director of the Blair Witch movie, Edward Sanchez. And it's about 5 friends that go camping in the Texas woods, and they fight off the fabled predator. And it just had a screening last week, and it was sold out, and the reviews were good.
Wow.
So, are they saying then it's a Bigfoot that is doing this?
Yes, that's what it is. It's
Okay,
a Bigfoot.
the Bigfoot, huh?
So the release date was supposed to be about a week ago, and it's been pushed back because another company came in and bought the movie and probably wants a bigger release for it.
Oh. Well, with all the
pushed back the release date.
with all the Bigfoot in the media right now, that's the reason why they want that sucker. So that makes sense.
Yep.
Bigfoot's where the money's at. All right, got number 5 up, and this looks cool. What's this?
The next one is Bigfoot Wars. This one has some known names in it. It's based on the book from the same series, and this one's going to be released in summer, starring C. Thomas Howell, Judd Nelson. On March 21st, they're going to start releasing the trailers, and then after that, they'll be like every other week or something. The new trailer. Yeah, if it's an important case, and if it does need some investigators, boots on the ground, then I would probably be one of them.
So we're talking UFO crash.
Of course, yes.
Yep. So if there's a UFO down, then you guys get called. I mean, right away too. You guys get dispatched, and depending on where it's at, there's a little money involved. You guys either hit it by vehicle or by helicopter, or whatever it takes to get you there before the government does, huh?
Yes. Now you find that they were paying for it back a few years ago when Bigelow was involved with the Bigelow Aerospace. As a matter of fact, I was dispatched out to London, Connecticut. I was out there 3 days investigating a very large black triangle. But I guess when Bigelow left, we're basically on our own right now, and we have to pay for our own flights and meals and everything else if we are dispatched out to a sighting.
Okay, right on. And
I had no idea that Bigelow left. I thought he still was like running the show.
That's what I thought though too. So I guess not. Okay, Mr. Ken, I got your pictures here, and like I said, everybody, if you're not watching us on live stream, you can go to the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. Yeah, you heard me right. artbell.com. Is that awesome? When I get goosebumps every time I say that. artbell.com. You can actually watch our stuff and listen to us right now on that network. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and hit for UFO number 1, and I am putting that on the screen right now. And go ahead, Ken, talk about this. What are we looking at?
Yes, this was a great photo. A lot of substance to us. This was February 24th, 2014 in Fresno, California.
Oh, wait. Fresno, California. Okay, that's...
And my birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, now, how come nobody called me on this one? See, nobody knows who we are.
What are you? One of you guys from Fresno?
We are broadcasting from Fresno.
Oh, okay. As a matter of fact, we've had a couple. We have another sighting that I'll present to you again next week. We had another sighting in the Fresno area, but no, this was February 24th, right there in Fresno.
Wow.
Birthday.
Yeah.
Somebody got a
I
photograph.
have a brief statement. It says here that I was shopping at the drugstore at the corner of First Street and Nee Street in North Fresno, California. I happened to look up and saw a stationary object in the northwest corner of Fresno.
Oh, River Park.
The skies were clear and there were no other craft in the area. I observed the object for about 10 to 15 minutes. I took several pictures, which I attached. The object made no noise and was stationary. I'm guessing that it was at least 1,000 feet or more. It is difficult to estimate size and height without having something to compare it to. I looked at it with some small binoculars. There seemed to be larger than just a lighted area. The pictures do a good job of what I saw. By chance, I sent the pictures to my daughter, and she called me immediately and said she said that my oldest grandson, 11-year-old, he saw the same thing. So that's what they had in Fresno there on the 24th of February.
Well, guess what? That's if we are talking about that particular sighting, that is, those kids who took that video, and we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact, where they were being followed, and they got a picture of that guy parked on the side of the street with the Google glasses on. I think this is the same object, because he said there should have been a lot of people who actually saw this thing, and it looks like that is the truth to it, because MUFON got a call on it. So yes, I got a call on that, and you guys got a call on that. So that verifies confirmation right there. Awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, what's happening these days is, people just don't call one UFO organization. They may call 3 or 4 different ones, and sometimes we get more of the stories from another UFO organization than the information we have.
Right. Sweet. Well, I'm glad that MUFON was called on this one. That's awesome. So.
Welcome to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at paranormalcentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. Are you ready to witness something that you cannot explain?
I'm looking for you. You're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe the unexplained? Look into the sky.
Hello everyone, welcome back. We are here, we're barely here, tired as heck, and I think all you guys know why. Hello, my name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host for Paranormal Central. to the right of me, co-host, barely walking, barely standing, is Mr. Alan Thomas.
How y'all doing?
And running the board in front of us is Emerald. All right, well, we got a lot of things that we are going to talk about tonight. And as you know, we have a very famous guest on the phone at about 5:45. Ron Morehead of the Sierra Sounds. Boy, I tell you, if we haven't freaked you out yet, we're going to freak you out even more. For those who like to go camping, we're really going to freak you out. So kick back, relax. If you have people who go camping, then you might want to tell them to tune in, because I don't think they're going to want to go camping after this. So again, if you are watching us on paranormalcentral.net, I appreciate it. We have often technical difficulties on live streams, so what we are asking you to do is, the heck with live stream, mute it, and go to artbell.com on the Dark Matter Network and tune in there. Go to their app. You can just, go to artbell.com, scroll all the way down to Dark Matter, and click on that, and you have different ways of actually listening to us. And they have an app, so if you're on their cell phone, you can actually listen to us there and, forget about watching us. And because their audio is way better than live stream. But if you want to see us, then go ahead and tune in. We're going to be showing pictures tonight. They are on the artbell.com website right now, so you can go ahead and follow us, so you don't have to go to live stream. But if you're on live stream, then we'll be showing them on the screen as we are talking to our reporters who are on the East Coast and on the West Coast. First, what we're going to do is we are going to talk to our MUFON representative on the East Coast. His name is Ken, and I think he's on the phone. Ken, are you there?
Yeah, hey, Jeff, how you doing, pal?
Good, man, good. Okay, we got Ken Pfeiffer on the East Coast, and he is a MUFON investigator, actually. You're state section director, or what are you now?
Yeah, well, I'm a STAR team member, of course, but I am the chief investigator for MUFON, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Vermont.
Good. And you said STAR investigator. I know what that means. Why don't you tell everybody what that is?
Well, basically what that means is we would be deployed to high-profile cases within the United States and possibly the world, depending on the case. But as a matter of fact, this was April 1st, 2013, in Providence, Rhode Island. Statement is, I walked out into the night on my porch and noticed something glowing in the trees in the back of the property. There were no street lights, and it was very dark. The night was overcast, and the object was hovering around 20 to 25 feet above the ground in a very treed area. There is nothing in the back of the property that is very rural with a lot of trees. It was glowing red and seemed to have some spots between the glowing lights, meaning it was not fence. I decided to take some pictures and went outside the house to upload them. The pictures reflected white glowing objects in different shapes. Note, I was seeing red glowing objects. Not while it seemed it was performing tricks for me. I went back outside and took more pics, and then it suddenly broke up into three smaller white objects and disappeared. So this was the best. They sent a few photos, and this one here seemed to be one of the better photos with a little bit of structure in it that shows something pretty strange.
And this was in the trees, you said?
Yeah, it was. I said it was 20, 25 feet above the trees and above the ground in a very treed rural area. So it's it wasn't far off the ground, probably about tree height, I guess.
Wow, that was weird. So cool. All right.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Ken, appreciate that. For all those who want more information on Ken, and he has thousands and thousands of photographs, and you can go to our website at paranormalcentral.net, go to our reporters, and there's links for Ken's website. And for those who don't want to go right now, Ken, go ahead and give them your website on right now as we speak, so that way they can go if they want to go. So
my one website is the world's largest private website for UFO photos. I got over 6,000 photos. That one is worldufophotos.org, and my news website is worldufophotosannews.org. So check them out. I think you'll see a a lot of neat things on there.
Very cool. All right, Ken, appreciate it. And I guess we'll see you next week. And in case anything happens this week and you want to tell me about it, feel free to call me, okay, and let me know what's going on.
Sounds good, Jeff. Hey, Alan and Jeff, thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Okay, no
We'll
problem.
see you later, Ken.
And if you dispatch on a UFO crash someplace, you better call me.
Yeah, I'll be on the phone to you.
All right,
Sure.
man. All right, thanks, Ken. See you next week.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
I'll see you.
See, I didn't know he was part of the STAR team.
That's cool, huh?
Yeah, STAR teams are they get notified first in dispatch, and if there's a down UFO someplace, they try to get out there ASAP before, the MIBs or the GOVs or the DOD or the CIA or the NSA or the FBI all get there first.
Well, it's interesting that he also said no Bigelow.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. I thought she...
I mean, I thought for sure that guy was still all over that.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. So
that's interesting.
All right, now we're going to go for the Squatch Report, and for all those who don't know what that is, this is our Bigfoot report, and our buddy Danny Valderrama should be on the air. If not, he's camping with Bigfoot right now. Danny, where are you?
Dancing right now.
You're dancing or camping?
Dancing.
Dancing? What the heck? Dancing?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm here.
All right, let me get to our... screen here, and Danny's going to be giving us the Squatch Report. And why, Danny? Because he is the biggest Bigfoot geek I've ever known in my life. So, okay. All right, we are zooming in, and we got actually photo number 1. And again, you guys, if you guys are on the artbell.com, these same photographs that we're showing on live stream can be seen right now at artbell.com Dark Matter Network website. All right, what do we see here? I see a possible arm.
Yep, these are both trail cam pictures taken about 1 second apart, and they were taken in the Cascade Mountains in Washington State by Eric Douglas on March 10th. That's all the information there is on these that he released.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to number 2. Okay, what are we looking at here?
Okay, yeah, this is that's an object on the moon.
What?
As a matter of fact, this is just another example of some of the amateur photographers and astrophotographers and amateurs that we have out there. They're setting up their cameras with the telescopes, and they're finding things, and it's pretty incredible. This one here was February 12, 2012, Green Acres, Florida. Brief statement: there are a few photos I took with my Nikon D5000. And with my Nikon D5000 hooked to my Nextar 8 telescope in February 2012, I have no clue what they are, but the one is a solid object sitting on a moon surface. I took another photo later, and it was gone. Now, I've seen this object before, and quite frankly, a lot of people are describing this object as a possible rod.
A rod? It doesn't look like a rod to me. It's more square.
Yeah. I do have some rod photos, and this seems to be one style of a rod that is flying around right now. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Okay. Wow, very cool. From the moon, even. All right, right on. Okay. Let's go to number 3. And again, you can, if you are not watching us on paranormalcentral.net, you can go to artbell.com, and you can see all these pictures right on his website right now. So, okay, we're UFO picture number 3. What do we got?
Okay, this one's in Kent, Rhode Island. Dates January 31st, 2014, in Kent, Rhode Island. Brief statement. Me and my boyfriend were driving down the highway when I saw 2 hovering black discs out of the passenger window. I told my boyfriend to look over, and he grabbed a series of pictures showing the object standing still in the sky, hovering. They were circular and had no lights. We took the next exit and headed towards where we saw them. We had lost them in the trees after taking the exit, and by the time we reached the area they were previously above, they were gone. We also saw a helicopter heading in the same direction as we drove closer. That occurred at roughly 5:30 p.m. in Rhode Island. Now, as you can see, there's 2 photos, and that one photo is apparently that's a photo they took they didn't see them lights, them beams coming down, but that's what the camera captured, and that's some pretty amazing shots there of what these guys got.
Very cool. And that white thing in the middle, I guess that's like a reflection from inside the vehicle?
I'm not really sure what that is. They didn't describe seeing that, but I saw that in the photo, and that to me that looks more like a UFO than anything. So I decided to circle that one.
Cool deal. All right, let's go to number 4. All right, go to number 4. There you go.
Okay, that would be number 5, April 1st, 2013.
No, January the 31st. We're number 4 now.
Okay, yeah, that's Ken, Rhode Island. That's the
Yes.
two photos I was talking about. The one photo should have the strange streaks of light coming from top to bottom with the two circled orange UFOs, and then the next photo that was attached was the photo of.
I see what you're saying. It's just a zoom-in version. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I got you. Well, see, now I'm looking at number 4, and you zoomed-in version. Matter of fact, I'm going to zoom in for it for the everybody out there right now. And the disc one that I'm seeing in that circle that you circled in the top right, to me it looks like a disc with a little dome on top. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I'm looking at it. Freaking UFO flying saucer. That's what I'm looking at right there. So that's cool. All right, let's go to number 5.
Okay, now this was Providence, Rhode Island. This was a great shot here.